Well, it's not the law yet, but after July 31st, it very well could be. I'm talking about the consolidation of Macon and Bibb County. Here today to break down the bill for us is our legal expert, Attorney Jay Davis. Jay, thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
As always, we appreciate it. This is the bill right here. It's about 42 pages long, I think. I read it. You read it. Tell me, from a legal standpoint, does the bill cover everything that you think it needs to cover?
Well, this is a massive undertaking. So it covers a lot of things in there, but there's no way to get everything in there that's going to need to be addressed.
It's an issue that's been talked about since 1923. So we've been going back and forth on this issue forever. Now you'll be able to vote on it on July 31st, but if the bill is passed, some people think that they're going to be disenfranchised. People think that they're going to be underrepresented. Now, if people think that once the bill is passed, or if it's passed, would they have grounds for a lawsuit against the state?
Well, I'm here to tell you as a lawyer, there's always a reason to sue. So we know that the NAACP will probably make some complaints about some racial lines and the way the lines are drawn and some sort of negative impact racially. And basically, if somebody thinks they're disenfranchised, they could possibly sue. Whether or not they can get together a suit that would actually have any merit is unlikely.
Okay. Now, one of the big selling points of the consolidation bill is that taxes are going to be going down gradually over 5 years. The bill aims to decrease taxes by 20% over 5 years. Now, if that promise isn't fulfilled, would there be other grounds for a lawsuit as well?
That's probably a varying legal opinion, but probably it's a contract. When the constituents reach that agreement, and if they were to vote yes on this, and that is a promise by the commission to do that. And if they didn't, there possibly could be a lawsuit against that, because that's probably one of the biggest incentives to pass it.
Okay, now obviously, again, this is a pretty controversial issue. One of the big talking points on the consolidation bill as well is the consolidation of the Macon Police Department and the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. Now, a lot of police officers have worried that they're going to be losing their jobs. Now, if, say, a police officer does lose his or her job because consolidation passes, would they have any grounds as well to sue? Or
depends on what their contract is. That is one aspect of the bill that is not clear. What are they going to do? How are they going to phase out the police department, which is the assumption they will phase it out. Mm-hmm. They could be moved over to the sheriff's department. They could choose not to just lose people by attrition, people leaving voluntarily or retiring out. They could go through the process of that. That's not going to cut the cost as quickly, but it would still cut the cost over time.
One of the problems that the police department and the sheriff's offices have had is they've had drug raids, drug busts, but they've been doing each other's work, kind of running into each other on these things. And so it's become sort of an issue where they need a more efficient way to do law enforcement.
Well, there's clearly a lot of overlap between the city and the county, and mm-hmm. that's what this bill aims to achieve, to consolidate that together. So we'll see how that works.
Again, it is 42 pages long, but why would you encourage people who are going to vote on July 31st and who have already voting in the early voting for the primary, why would you encourage them to read the bill?
Because people need to understand what's going on. There's people in the county, sort of the white group that's known as on the other side, that wouldn't want it to go because they don't want to get caught up in the expenses of the city. Some of those things are addressed in the bill. They would know, they would have some reasons there. There are black people who are being told they'd be disenfranchised. They need to read the bill and see if it seems like that's what's going to do. The only way to know is to look into it.
All right. Jay Davis, thank you so much for being here. It's a big issue, and you can read the full consolidation bill at consolidation2012.com. We'll have more discussion on this hot topic next week on the News at 6 right here on 41 NBC.